Dating in 2026, man. I made videos back in 2020 talking about how social media has ruined dating and how dating is pretty much finished back then. So you can imagine my surprise to see the state of affairs things are in at this present moment in 2026. Listen, guys, people just don't get it yet. They just don't get it yet. But when you create an environment where everything is transactional, nothing good can come from it, because every genuine human interaction that makes us feel good, it's not transactional. It comes from the heart. It comes from the spirit. And at the end of the day, that's not what society's promoting. The values that society holds are not necessarily conducive to the things that actually lead to a healthy life as a human being. And I just don't know why a lot of people just don't get that. They assimilate themselves to society and what society wants to do, and they're so focused on this world. But this world has proven time and time again it does not have our best interests at heart. So when it comes to dating, guys, like, you got to understand, people are being itemized. People are being turned into the product nowadays. So that's what these dating apps have subtly done over time, is they've turned people into a product. So when you have other human beings looking at human beings as products, it's no shock that people aren't being treated as people, right? Everything makes sense as long as you have the right lens on. As long as you have the right prescription, you'll be able to see it all. When it comes to dating in 2026, you need to understand that everyone is very much out for themselves. It's a very animalistic, selfish environment, and yet people want to have kind of one foot in and one foot out at the same time. They want to protect themselves, but they want to expose just enough to make the other person vulnerable. They want the other person to be vulnerable without giving anything in return, essentially. And it's just a little game of who can manipulate the other to be vulnerable first. And then, you know, in some scenarios when people are vulnerable, you abuse that power and you choose to neglect that person or emotionally abuse that person. So it creates this very negative feedback loop, and hurt people. So these same people who get hurt then go on to hurt like 2 or 3 other people, and you get the point. It just continues. So I could keep talking about the state of affairs, but let's really talk more about the solutions. The solution is we have to understand what is being put in front of our faces. What is society pushing in front of us to get us to, what propaganda are we being pushed that's creating these problems? And it's very simple, guys. Just take a quick look. Like, on the men's side of things, we're being told, okay, to be a suitable dating partner, you have to make this amount of money. You have to look like this. You have to do this. Notice how in all of those things, there's nowhere in there saying you have to be a good person. How about just being a human being that's a good person who actually cares about the planet and the people that's around you? You'll never hear those points being brought up in discussions of what makes you a suitable mate as a man. And that says everything you need to know. On the woman's side of things, let's be honest, bro. As men, we're very visual creatures. Too much of how we select women is predicated on how they look, man. We've done too much in the sense of, you will let a woman you're attracted to get away with murder. She could be a despicable human being. If she looks good, you will let her get away with murder. As opposed to the woman who you're not attracted to at all. She does all the right things, but because you're not attracted to her, you give her this much of a leash, if any. I know I've been guilty of it. Like, there have been women who have probably been, I've come across who would be suitable. I mean, beyond suitable, like just great woman, man. And I've always known that, but because I wasn't attracted to them physically, I just let them brush right by me. And, you know, part of that is, you know, being animalistic as a man. And then the other half of it is like, there's a sense of maturity there that's just being lost. As men, we have to focus more on what really matters, bro. You cannot date women, send money to these women, pedestalize these women who are not good human beings. Good human beings need to be elevated, and bad human beings need to be left alone. All right, that's really all it comes down to. But because that hasn't been happening, what you've had what's actually been going on is some of the most toxic people in society have been getting rewarded, put on a pedestal. And the people who are really suitable that you should actually be building a life with, you're just letting float to the wayside because of some superficial principle or ideology that you just have in your head that doesn't really mean anything. Like, there's so many people, like, you won't date someone because they're shorter than you, or you won't date somebody because you won't date this person because, I don't know, just something dumb, dude. Like, oh, they seem nerdy, or they play video games, or, oh, I don't like how they eat their fork with holding on to it with 2 fingers instead of 3. It's like, you guys create reasons to make the dating game harder on yourselves, and you wonder why it's so hard to find a mate. Our parents used to literally just come across each other, come across themselves, like they would come across each other, right? And they would have no guarantee that they would ever meet again. And they would strike up a conversation right there in the moment, not overthink things, set a date, meet again, and boom, a relationship is started. It's never that simple anymore. The simplicity of life has been overcomplicated to such a degree, most people will never be happy when it comes to dating. A lot of people say, you know, where are all the good people at? Where are all the good men at? Where are all the good women at? There are more people on this planet than ever, and you're really saying that? I don't know why people feel as though, like, because the times have changed, like, the problem is, like, the point in time we're in. People don't change, guys. It's the environment around us that changes primarily. And people tend to adapt to whatever environment that is. I mean, heck, in the Roman Colosseum days, they were just killing people in an arena, and you couldn't fathom something like that today, but it's because you were in the environment that they were in at that present point. So we got to understand, a lot of these things that are happening are a product of the environment, the point in time we are living in. But it doesn't define the people living at this point in time. We can still change. It's not too late. As bad as dating is getting, it's really not too late. And I think people are a lot more dramatic about things than they need to be. And that's that's another reason why things are going to be so hard to change. Like, we're really missing the compassion and the empathy and everything that it really takes to make these relationships work. Like, guys, there are so many people walking around, man. Look, they're walking around with no hearts, man, soulless. The heart is the closest thing you have to the soul. So if you're walking around without compassion for people, maybe you've had a few heartbreaks. You're like, I've had a few heartbreaks. I don't care. Whoever I come across next, they're just going to get it. Like, that's your mental state of being. Understand, you've already sold your soul. You're never getting it back. You can't go through life without your heart. People try to protect themselves, so they forsake and they throw away their heart. And it's the most counterintuitive thing ever, because, dude, you need that to be a healthy, happy human being. And then on top of that, you're making it worse for the people who come across you who, quite frankly, like, what you've been through isn't really their problem, and you're making it worse on them. And don't get me started with these apps. They just give you more of an excuse to be superficial. They give you more of an excuse to hold these superficial values that inevitably are just going to make your life more miserable. And that leads to the big pile of junk that we have in 2026 when it comes to dating. The game is all messed up. Everything is in disarray. No one really knows what the right solution to the problem is. Well, I know the solution. I do know the solution. The solution is we have to actually start questioning, okay, what are some of the negative propaganda that I've consumed over the years that's led me to believe that just because this woman has a pretty face, I need to forsake my entire life and completely surrender everything to that. You're giving yourself excuses to be a slave, and then you're wondering why, dang, I sold myself out just because this woman was attractive, and she completely destroyed my life after that. She might have taken my home, my kids, whatever. Like, dude, you sold out first. I'm sorry, you sold out first. And then on the woman's side of things, you're attracted to this guy because he's tall and maybe he's muscular. Not thinking about, like, is this dude an actual good human being? Like, if I had kids with this guy, would he treat these kids like, it's not complicated. We are just so superficial. That's all it is. And someone's got to say it. This superficial nature, these superficial values, all these are ways of thinking that have been given to you. This is not how you naturally think. You have been programmed. I know it's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but see, when I'm spitting facts, you'll notice some outside distraction always has to come and cause a commotion, but that's because I'm spitting facts. Real ones know. The world does not like it when you spit facts, so they give you these distractions. The nerve. Like, quiet down. Anyway, the solution to me is very simple. We got to start treating each other like human beings. We got to start evaluating and actually vetting our partners. Stop moving out of lust, guys. That's the easiest way to fix the dating market. Stop moving out of lust. It's Dipsy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and be on the lookout for some more content.